There is a very interesting research work on the effect of Atirudram on corona. So I think, Divya, you would want to present that now? It doesn't look just like a coincidence, but something just the days जब से वो अतिरुद्र शुरू किया तब से कैसे कोरोना का पूरा ग्राफ नीचे गिरने लगा, इस पर इन्होंने डेटा निकाला है. बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. मैंने कहा सबके साथ शेयर करें अभी. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅತಿರುದ್ರ ನಡೀತಲ್ಲ. ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಅನದರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರು. ಎರಡೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ನೋಡೋಣ. ನೋಡಿ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಹೌ ದ ಯಜ್ಞಾಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಸಚ್ ನ್ಯಾನೋ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ವಾಸ್ ಒನ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಡನ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬಿಫೋರ್. ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಈವನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಪುಟ್ ದ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ, ದ ಥಾಟ್, and how it impacts the environment. Mike Kodipa ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Jai Gurudev. We'll begin with a small video.
Create such
The scary part to me,
nanoparticle was
when you're, it's essentially impossible to tell when it's going to end. And this is the scary part to me. When you're in the middle of an exponential, it's essentially impossible to tell when it's going to end. Are we in for 10 times as many cases as we currently have? Or 100 times as many? Or 1,000? Exactly when exponential growth ends is important, because it hugely determines how many people fall ill. Yet so little reporting actually focuses at all on how to tell if exponential growth is ending. After talking about this with my friend Atish, he put together a new graph visualizing the COVID-19 epidemic on a global scale. This graph uses the real data and shows all countries traveling along the trajectory of exponential growth. And it makes it super obvious which ones have managed to stop the exponential spread of disease. They plummet downwards off the main sequence in a way I find super compelling. The defining feature of exponential growth is that the number of new cases is proportional to the number of existing cases, which means that if you plot new cases versus total cases, exponential growth appears as a straight line. So these are what we plotted on our graph. The number of new cases, aka the growth rate, is on the y-axis, and the cumulative number of cases is on the x-axis, both on logarithmic scales. This gives us a beautiful, horrible graph that shows where all countries are in their COVID-19 journeys. It makes it obvious that the disease is spreading in the same manner everywhere. We're all headed on the same trajectory, just shifted in time. And it makes it obvious where public health measures like testing, isolation, physical distancing, and contact tracing have started to beat back the disease, and where they either aren't working or haven't had time to show up in the data. In nearly every country so far, the number of cases grows at basically the same rate, until it doesn't.
That line which is going up, then it's
The
back.
number of cases grow.
And if it's going down, it's good. So let's move to India's numbers. We've divided India's numbers into 4 phases. One is before Atirudra. The second phase is when the Atirudra intention came. The third is when the Atirudra Mahayagya was being performed. And the fourth is after the Atirudra was performed. This is what it looks like. Numbers are increasing before Atirudra. Note, this is in June, July, August, numbers still increasing. September. Let's pause over here. This is the time that the intention of Atirudra came. Immediately you see that there's a shift towards downwards. And during the Atirudra, you can see that the numbers went down very clearly, very sharply. And what happens after Atirudra? This is the graph. There is no ambiguity here. There is no confusion. There is no gray area. It's a very clear, sharp change that happens. And that happened, that for the numbers for India changed exactly the moment the intention, the mere intention of performing the Atirudra Mahayagya came. And as the Atirudra Mahayagya was performed, the numbers, we came out of the bad zone. We came out of the exponential growth phase, and we have still, until then, since then, we have stayed out of the danger zone. That, to us, it is a very, very, very clear evidence of the power of the Atirudra Mahayagya. So there's a lot of question as to why India has come out of this danger so quickly. The answer is right there in front of you on the screen right now. Jai Gurudev. The numbers are even more dramatic when you look at Bangalore's number, because Bangalore is where it happened. Bangalore was behind the curve compared to all over India. So in September, August, September, in September the numbers were still increasing. And on the 5th of October, still Bangalore was still on the increasing. As the Atirudra Yajna was performed, the numbers started going down, down, down. It's a very sharp, very dramatic, very unambiguous evidence of the impact of Atirudra Mahayagya.
Good. We know it, but scientific evidence makes it even more interesting, right? Good. ಅಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇದೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಲ್ವಾ हम हजारों सालों से करते आ रहे हैं तो कुछ तो होता है इसीलिए तभी तो सब योग यज्ञ ध्यान इन सब हमारे देश में सदियों से हम करते आ रहे थे अब विज्ञान ने भी उस बात को सिद्ध किया है हाँ भाई ये बात सच है और वो भी ढंग से करना पड़ेगा ऐसे कोई कुछ करते रहे बोलते रहे नहीं चलेगा वो एकदम श्रद्धा से और ढंग से ध्यान पूर्वक करते हैं तो सबका फल मिलता है चलिए अच्छा हो गया